Hi, I'm Neil Sharma, President of Spice Technology Group, and I'm here with Marina Garvilo from HMV Canada, and we're going to talk about the state of EDI B2B integration within the retail industry. We'll talk a little bit about where we've come from over the past few decades in EDI. We'll talk about what's happening today in the world of omni-channel that's giving rise to more and more adoption of EDI. And we will also spend some time talking about what we're seeing as the future of EDI over the next 10 years. So stay tuned. So ultimately, all of the effort around EDI and B2B integration is really to integrate your processes with suppliers and other trading partners, but it's also to generate a lot of data. And once this data gets generated, it provides value to retailers in a variety of different ways. Marina, what are your thoughts about that?
Companies today are still struggling with integrating part of this process. EDI so far has done a great job into bringing data, into exchanging data between entities in the standardized format. However, companies on both ends of the exchange still struggling with integrating this data, interpreting this data and import it into their backend systems, and especially to make it available internally to all models, to all departments of their businesses. So that's a big challenge for the EDI, the integration part. And that's where API technologies can fill in, build a next level of the EDI, built on the top of existing EDI, because EDI basically it's a huge data storage, right? Mm-hmm. So how we use this data storage in a smart way is really important, and that's what companies are looking for right now.
So I think one important direction going with EDI and this massive amount of data that is generated is trying to glean some insight out of it. So there's a lot of thought being given now by retailers who've already implemented EDI and have been running with it for now a decade or 2 decades, are saying, well, instead of just having that data come in and go away and sit on our servers, let's actually start to utilize it to see how we can increase competitive advantage in our marketplace by analyzing supply chain data. Can we, for example, predict a stockout at one point in time? Could we, for example, predict where we might have transportation bottlenecks in a global supply chain? Because we have all this data coming in through our supply network, but we have external data coming in that adds to this particular data and then collectively gives you a lot more analytical capability than you ever had before.
It brings us a point of how to close this loop. And probably the best way is to collaborate the efforts of the retailer with their suppliers and bring this collective effort of how to use this data to close the business cycle. And that's another point where companies are struggling right now. Of course, it's not a novice idea. It's been around for probably over a decade. And but a good example was the vendor managed inventory, which never really took off in earnest at many companies, and for various reasons. And one of them was, of course, the trust and not knowing where to start to collaborate on every level, on the computer level, on the business level, and
and vendor managed inventory led to scan-based trading, and scan-based trading was also one, basically VMI on steroids, as we would call it, and that took off quite a bit. But everything has now been overshadowed by e-commerce and omni-channel, which really, e-commerce is yet another sales channel. But omni-channel is a collection of all of these sales channels, and how do you make that work in one environment for one retailer without caring, how the product is sold or where it is sold and what are the underlying technologies? So we'll see a reinvention of VMI and scan-based trading and e-commerce all come back together under the term of omni-channel. And again, EDI from a back-end supplier integration perspective, transportation integration, manufacturing integration becomes really important in actually executing many of these strategies.